name is Rod Luckett. I'd like to tell you the story of a Chorisa tree that was amazingly resurrected after a bushfire. The bushfire occurred on Christmas Day 2001. I better start by telling you a little bit about the history of this tree. The tree was given to me by a friend, Kevin Bewley, who was a missionary. And Kevin has an amazing story that fits in with this Chorisa. While he was a missionary in South America, he converted most of the members of a tribe of Indians to Christianity. When he left the village for a while to get stores, he got a message over the radio from the village, the chief of the village, who said, could he come back because one of the women in the village had died. When Kevin arrived back in the village, he was expecting to officiate at a funeral, but instead of that, the chief asked him if he would resurrect the woman because she was not a Christian. And Kevin then said, I will pray with you and we will see what happens. So they prayed, and this woman was resurrected and then baptized the next day. I then told Kevin a story that had happened to me of a boy who I thought had drowned on the bottom of a swimming pool. And when we brought him up in the bottom, he could have been down there as long as half an hour. And when we turned him over on his back, and I was praying desperately at this time, he opened his eyes and said, hello, Rod Luckett. And so I thought to myself, how amazing it is that Kevin and I have amazing stories of what the power of God can do. Anyway, Kevin brought back Chorisa seeds from South America. The Chorisa is a magnificent flowering tree. It has pink flowers, grows very big, over 10 metres tall. This particular tree was 10 years old when the bushfire came, and on Christmas Day it burnt back to a stump, as you can see, about 2 feet above the ground. At that stage, underneath this tree was a heap of tyres which had been dumped on this property by the former owner, and they also caught fire. The fires burnt underneath the tree for about 6 months, and then another strange thing happened. Another tree fell behind it, looked rather like a cross. And at this stage I better tell you that the Indian name for this tree is the tree that cannot be killed. The Indians just named it for that for reasons I really don't know, other than the fact that they must have recognised this tree's remarkable qualities. But then for 11.5 years after that, there was no sign of anything happening to this tree. And then one day I came out and I observed the shoot, and it was a little tiny shoot. It was only about this high coming out of the ground, and then I realised that this was a very remarkable anniversary date, because 46 years earlier I had taken a Jewish man who was the only surviving member of his family to the synagogue. And this event occurred during the course of the Six-Day War. And during that evening, I had a strange dream. The dream was of a disaster on the Blue Mountains. I knew nothing about the reason for it all, but I recorded it in a book that I wrote called Bow in the Cloud. And when I realised that I thought, how strange that this shoot should have come on the 46th anniversary of the day I took this Jewish man to the synagogue. And then I thought about the book I'd written. It was a book called Bow in the Cloud. And in that book, in John 2, I recorded a story that has its origins in John 2:20. At that time, Jesus had cleared the temple of the money changers, and the Jews had said, by what authority are you doing this? And he had said, destroy this temple in 3 days, I will bring it back. I can't remember if that is the exact word, but it's very similar to that. But anyway, the Jews said it has taken 46 years to build this temple, and you will raise it up in 3 days. But anyway, we then know the story of the resurrection, of how Jesus did in fact resurrecting, or God resurrected Jesus, and that is the basic story behind Christianity. But anyway, this little shoot grew with sorry if I'm clearing my voice. It grew with remarkable speed, and by about 3 weeks it was already up that high. I then started to notice another phenomena. I saw 2 shoots coming on either side of it, And these shoots reminded me of the two thieves who were crucified with Jesus. And then they grew up. The shoot was then up about this high, and the two other shoots who looked like reminded me of the thieves were up about this high. And then I noticed what appeared to be like a crown of thorns coming on the Chorisa. And I thought to myself, this is like the crown of thorns that Jesus wore at his crucifixion. I counted the thorns on the tree, and I noticed that on this particular shoot there were 40 thorns. On this particular shoot there are 6, and they just really dotted at intervals. It's hard to see, but if you count them all, there's 6 on here and 40 on the other. Now that is back to 46 again, because this number 46 just goes through the story. And then as I watched this tree grow, when it got to about 10 feet high, it's way above our head, but a flower bud formed. And I thought, this is very remarkable, because Chorisias, like most trees, flower on mature wood. And this particular tree is getting a flower bud on green wood. But then we went away for 2 days to my daughter's place. When I returned, the flower bud had fallen from the tree, and at the same time the shoot that was on this side, which was about 3 foot tall, had suddenly died. And I thought, oh my gosh, this has destroyed the symmetry. I wanted to talk about this tree as having 3 shoots, and now it's only got 2. So I prayed, and 3 days later another shoot came. And I thought to myself, now this is like the story of the crucifixion of Jesus. He was crucified with 2 thieves, and one thief cursed him, and the righteous thief, the right-hand thief on the right, he said, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And Jesus said that to him, he said, this day you will be with me in paradise. So I prayed, and 3rd day another shoot came. And here it is coming up here very quickly. There are 5 accompanying shoots to this, and these shoots remind me, if I count them, 5 there, the taller one here 6, another 2, 7, 8. 8 is the number of resurrection. And so this tree is telling me the story of the resurrection. And I believe that God can do anything. He can talk to you in many ways. He has given me strange messages. I can't tell you all of them here, but this particular story is of a tree that I believe is telling me the story of the crucifixion. Regarding this, I'd prefer if I only get contact from anyone wishing to publish a book, because I've written a 440-page book about miraculous events that have occurred in my lifetime since I became interested in numerical code in the Bible.